The Al-Rashid mansion glittered with old money and new sorrow. The boy never smiles. Never. Among the catering staff, a waitress named Maria Costa pinned her burgundy bow tie and listened. A senior server pulled her aside. Stay away from the East Wing. The Al-Rashid heir never reacts to anyone.
Blindness. I know that silence.
Then she saw him. A small figure in dark clothes being guided away from the laughter and champagne. His gray eyes stared at nothing. His face a mask of indifference no child should ever wear.
Like Sophia before she learned to feel the world through sound and touch.
The billionaire father, Hassan al-Rashid, watched from a doorway with the desperate hope of a man who had tried everything and failed.
Someone has to reach him. Maybe I was sent here for a reason. Maybe Sophia's lessons weren't just for her. The boy they led away. Why is he kept separate from the party?
The server's warning was blunt. Amir was blind. He never reacted, and the staff was forbidden from any contact.
Another child locked away from the world. I've seen this before.
Later, through the terrace doors, she saw him, a small silhouette against the dying sun.
He sits there every evening. I've been told, waiting for a light he'll never see.
She couldn't stop herself. She left her tray and moved toward the open doors. A heavy hand landed on her shoulder. The bodyguard's order was absolute. The terrace was off limits.
Please, I just want to say hello. He must be so lonely.
The man didn't budge. His response echoed the warning. She was to stay away. Those were Mr. Al-Rashid's orders.
They can't keep him caged forever. I know a language that doesn't need sight. I'll find a way. It started years ago, in our cramped apartment. Sophia was 11 when the illness took her sight.
Every evening, Maria would sit by the window and paint the sunset with words.
The sky is turning orange now, like the warmth of a blanket fresh from the sun.
Sophia would close her eyes and smile, learning to see through her sister's language.
I promised her then I would be her eyes until she didn't need them anymore.
That promise turned into a skill, a way of translating the world into textures, temperatures, sounds.
She taught me that blindness isn't emptiness, it's a different canvas.
And now, in that mansion, the same instinct stirred, to build a sunset for a boy who had never seen one.
Amir is just like Sophia was before she learned to hear color.
She knew she had to try. The barriers were high, but she had been given a gift, the vocabulary of the blind. Back among the guests, Maria carried champagne and listened. Nearby, Hassan's voice cut through, weighted with grief. He hasn't smiled once in 10 years. I'd trade everything for one moment of light in his eyes.
10 years. The weight of those words broke something inside me.
She glanced toward the terrace. The bodyguard was gone. Amir sat alone, a still shadow against the sunset.
Now, before someone notices.
She set her tray aside, ignored a colleague's look, and walked toward the terrace doors. The evening air smelled of jasmine. Amir didn't stir as her footsteps crossed the stone floor. She sat on the far end of the bench, leaving a careful distance, and folded her hands.
Don't speak yet. Let him sense my presence without words.
The last rays of sun held them both. The terrace was silent, but the question was deafening.
The air is cooling now. Can you feel it? It carries the scent of night jasmine.
Amir's face remained unchanged, as if her voice were part of the wind.
The stone beneath your hand still holds the sun's warmth. It's like holding a memory.
Not a flicker. The boy sat in a world she couldn't reach. A shadow swallowed the sunset glow on the terrace. Hassan al-Rashid stood in the doorway, his hands clenched.
What do you think you are doing? You had no right to approach my son.
Sir, please. I only wanted to.
You are upsetting him. Leave this terrace now, or I will have you removed from the property.
Maria rose, her heart a stone. She walked past the billionaire without another word, the sting of failure burning her eyes. The terrace fell silent again. Amir alone once more, and the sunset slipped away, as if it had never tried. Maria didn't leave the mansion. She found Hassan in his study, staring out the window at the dying light.
Mr. Al-Rashid, please. I know why you sent me away, but I also know something you don't.
You have nothing to say that I haven't heard from a dozen specialists.
My sister Sophia went blind at 11. I learned to describe the world so she could see. I can do the same for Amir.
Hassan's face shifted, disbelief warring with a desperate flicker of hope.
Let me describe the sunset to him, just once with your permission. If he shows distress, I will leave and never come back.
If you upset him again, I will have you escorted out of the country and blacklisted. Do you understand?
I understand.
For a long moment, the only sound was the distant fountain. Then Hassan gave a single, slow nod. Maria turned toward the terrace. One chance. The weight of 10 years rested on her next words. She returned to the bench, settling gently, as if the air itself was fragile.
The sun has almost disappeared, but the balcony still holds its heat, a blanket of warmth left behind.
Amir didn't move, but his stillness had changed. It was no longer indifference. It was listening.
Can you feel the stone cooling? Each tiny grain releasing the day's memory. It's like the earth is breathing.
Then, as if pulled by a thread, his head tilted, just a fraction, toward her voice. In the doorway, Hassan's eyes widened. His son had never responded to an outside voice before.
The jasmine is blooming tonight. Its scent is heavy, like honey dipped in silk. If yellow had a smell, it would be this.
Amir's shoulders dropped. His small chest rose and fell with a slow, deliberate breath.
And the fountain, its music is softer now. Even the water is tired after carrying the sunlight all day.
Hassan's fists uncurled. For the first time in 10 years, he wasn't watching a lost boy. He was watching a possibility.
I remember with Sophia, we had a kind of teacher. She showed us how to translate color into touch, a special way of seeing.
The words hung in the twilight. Amir's stillness deepened, then broke with a single sound.
Color?
Yes, think of red as the heat of a cup of tea, blue as the coolness of the fountain. Orange is like the stone right now, not too hot, not too cold.
A change. Amir's rigid jaw relaxed. His small fingers opened on the bench, as if reaching for that warmth. But then, like a door slamming, he snatched his hand back. His body curled inward, a sudden fortress.
Too fast. I pushed too fast.
Hassan stepped forward, his hope collapsing into familiar shadow. Amir turned his face away, the fragile bridge between them destroyed in an instant. The silence returned, heavier than before. Maria felt the threat in Hassan's gaze, the open question. What have you done?
Enough. You've done more than enough damage. Leave this house now.
He's right. I pushed too hard. And now the boy is lost deeper than before.
She walked away, the stone's last warmth leaving her skin as if the house itself rejected her. In the frantic kitchen, a supervisor snapped about her disappearance, but the words dissolved into buzz. Alone in the dark corridor, she leaned against the wall and let the tears fall, and let the tears fall.
I must be missing something. There has to be a deeper way, something beyond sound and touch.
Then, like a sudden breeze, the memory surfaced, Sophia's old notebook, filled with strange sensory exercises. She rushed to the staff room, dug through her worn bag, and pulled out the soft leather cover. The pages were yellowed, covered in handwritten notes and tiny braille dots that she had traced so often with Sophia.
If there's a key to unlock him, it's buried in these pages. I just need to find it.
In the dim staff room, Maria opened the worn notebook. The first page held a name she had almost forgotten. Professor Hamid. Beneath the name, a handwritten creed. The world is texture, sound, and scent. Paint with these. She traced the braille dots beneath the words. A blind man had written this. He understood the mind's canvas.
All this time, I was only describing. He was teaching how to build a world inside.
She turned the page. Diagrams of breath and rhythm. Exercises in temperature and pressure. A complete sensory language. She read of layering. Start with heat, then sound, then scent, then the pressure of memory. It was a symphony.
I was just painting the surface. This is a way to make him feel the colors.
The jasmine on the page seemed to scent the air. She understood now. She had touched the door, but never opened it.
I have to try again. The real way. Even if it costs me everything.
She closed the notebook, her heart no longer heavy with failure, but with a fierce, quiet resolve. On the terrace, the first stars appeared. Hassan sat on the cold stone beside his son, his hand on Amir's shoulder.
Amir, can you tell me what happened? Did the woman upset you?
The lady. She was showing me the color. I felt it. For a moment.
Hassan's breath caught. In 10 years, Amir had never described a perception.
Color? He felt color. What did that waitress awaken in him?
Meanwhile, Maria hurried through the service corridor, the notebook pressed against her heart.
Please, I need just one more minute with the boy. I know I can reach him.
The server she stopped shook his head. No one could approach the terrace without Mr. Al-Rashid's consent. Then she saw the assistant, stepping out of the ballroom. She rushed to him, words tumbling. He studied her desperate face, then nodded. He would tell Mr. Al-Rashid, but if refused, she must vanish. The assistant entered the study. Hassan's head rose from his hands. Sir, the waitress begs for one more chance.
Bring her. But it is on her shoulders now and on mine.
Moments later, Maria stepped onto the terrace again. The air was cooler, the sky now a deep violet. Hassan stood back, arms crossed. Amir sat motionless, but his ear was turned toward the new silence. She opened the worn notebook to a page dense with layered instructions. Her finger traced the guide.
Feel the stone now, cold against your palm. It remembers the sun, but releases it slowly. That is the texture of orange. Hear the fountain. Its rhythm is slower now, like a heart calming. Water can be silver when it sighs. Breathe in the jasmine and the distant charcoal from the village. That's how purple tastes, smoke and flowers, and the warmth in your chest, like fresh bread and a grandfather's laugh. That's the last ray of sun, red holding you tight.
The air on the terrace thickened. Hassan's arms dropped. Something was shifting, something deeper than words. And then, from Amir's unseeing eyes, a tear slipped down his cheek. Another followed, silent and warm.
Tears. He's feeling it. The sunset is reaching him. Don't stop now.
But Hassan did not see wonder in those tears. He saw only the old enemy, distress.
Stop. You are making him cry.
Before Maria could react, his hand clamped onto her arm and wrenched her from the bench.
No. Wait, he's not.
Amir's body convulsed forward. His hand slashed the empty air where her voice had been moments before.
No, don't stop. I could see it.
Hassan froze mid-motion, his grip on Maria slackening. The boy's plea hung in the violet air. He stared from his trembling son to the waitress, and the ground beneath 30 years of certainty cracked open. His hand fell away from Maria's arm as if burned. The terrace itself seemed to hold its breath.
She was giving me the sunset, Father. I was beginning to see it.
I almost destroyed the first light my son has ever felt. I was wrong. For 10 years, I have been a wall, and you are a window.
Then, in front of his staff and the dying sky, Hassan al-Rashid knelt on the cold stone.
Forgive me, both of you. Finish what you started. Please.
He knelt for his son. Now I must finish what Professor Hamid started.
She gave no answer but a firm nod and stepped past the kneeling billionaire to the empty bench. Hassan remained on his knees, a sentinel stripped of every defense except hope, and the boy, tears still on his cheeks, reached out his hand for the voice that had opened the world, trembling. Maria sat on the cold bench and opened the notebook again. The ink seemed to glow in the dying light.
The sun is now a sliver of copper on the edge of the world. Its last warmth feels like bread fresh from the oven. Taste the salt on the wind from the sea, far away. Hear the distant echo of a grandfather's laugh, warm and low.
Amir's hand, still extended, stretched farther, his fingers trembling as if touching an invisible thread.
The colors are melting together now, orange into purple, like honey poured into dark tea.
The sun was a scarlet line on the horizon. Hassan forgot to breathe.
And the sky is sighing, a velvet blanket, heavy and soft, wrapping the world in starlight.
Amir leaned forward, his whole body a taut bow, as if his soul was pulling at the words. Hassan's hand rose to his mouth. The terrace was no longer a prison but a doorway. The last light died. All that remained was a voice, a notebook, and a boy who was about to be born.
The sky is now a warm blanket of orange, heavy and soft, smelling of honey and dust. The last light feels like a mother's hand on your cheek.
And for the first time in his 10 long years, a smile cracked the mask of Amir's face.
I see it. I see the sunset.
A laugh burst from him, wet, broken, and utterly alive. Tears poured freely, mixing with the wide, undeniable smile. Hassan's composure shattered. A sob wrenched from his chest, and he collapsed forward onto his hands.
My son is smiling.
He crawled the last distance and wrapped his son in a fierce embrace, rocking him as 10 years of silence dissolved.
It worked. The sunset is his now.
On the horizon, the last color bled away, but on that bench a world had just been born. Maria closed the notebook, her own tears falling. The boy never smiles? That lie was dead forever. The last light was gone, but the terrace held a sacred silence. Hassan's eyes, wet and raw, found Maria.
Where did you learn to do that? That was not just kindness.
It's from a notebook. My sister Sophia kept it. The method inside was created by a blind professor, Professor Hamid.
The name struck Hassan like a fist. He stopped breathing.
Hamid.
He stared at the leather cover as if it were a door back through decades.
Do you know that name?
But Hassan didn't answer. He only raised a trembling hand toward the notebook, his face a mask of disbelief. The word hung in the dark, Hamid, and with it, a secret no one had spoken in this house for 30 years. Maria felt the weight of that silence and understood she had just opened a door even she could not see through. Hassan's trembling hand opened the notebook. The handwriting sent a jolt through his chest, the same loopy Arabic he had seen decades ago.
This is his writing. Professor Hamid. I thought I'd never see it again.
He sank onto the bench, and the story poured out, a truth he had buried for 30 years.
When I was a boy, an accident took my sight for a summer. I was lost in darkness until Hamid came to our school.
The blind professor taught him to feel the world, textures of leaves, the temperature of wind, the scent of bread as a color.
He gave me back my sight before my eyes ever healed. I became the man I am because of him.
The method that saved Amir. It saved his father first.
Hassan looked at the notebook, then at his smiling son, and a broken laugh escaped him.
It was destiny. The very lesson that let me see the world now let my son see the sunset.
In one night, a waitress had gifted a boy his first smile, and unwound a thread tying a blind professor, a billionaire, and a child across generations, still trembling. Hassan turned the brittle pages until he found the words he had first heard as a boy.
Listen, Amir. The sunset is not a picture. It is the world saying goodnight in 1,000 ways.
Good night, son, I heard you.
The boy reached out, and without sight, found his father's hand and pulled him into a fierce embrace.
You gave him the sunset. You gave me back my past. How can I ever thank you?
You already did. You opened your heart.
She knelt beside them, and for the first time, the terrace held no loneliness. Only 3 hearts beating together.
You didn't just make him smile. You taught me to see again, too.
The boy who never smiled now held the world in his voice, describing stars to his father with the same words that had painted his first sunset.
Sophia would be so proud. The language she taught me just gave a boy his universe.
As the first stars pierced the dark, Maria quietly stood and reached for her serving tray.
Where are you going? You cannot just disappear after what you've done. You are part of this family now. Stay. Teach other children the language you gave Amir. Let me never hear, never smiles again.
Mr. Al-Rashid, I am only a waitress.
Don't go. Tell me about the stars, like you told me about the sunset.
She knelt, and in a whisper, built the night sky for him.
The stars are like tiny suns that sleep. If you listen, they hum a quiet song only the heart can hear.
Amir's face tilted upward, following her voice into the darkness, a smile still ghosting his lips. Hassan stood behind them, a father reborn in the glow of possibility. The notebook remained open on the bench, its pages ready for the next child who needed to see. Later that night, the mansion slept. In Amir's room, a star projector swirled galaxies across the ceiling.
The stars are like tiny suns that sleep. They hum a quiet song.
Beside his bed, Hassan and Maria sat in the dim light, listening.
And that one, the bright one, it feels like the sun just before it said goodnight. Warm and close.
Hassan's eyes glistened. The boy who never spoke of light was now weaving constellations with words.
He's not just feeling the world anymore. He's painting it.
I never knew the world was so full.
Hassan and Maria exchanged a glance. No words needed, only the shared weight of a miracle.
Good night, stars. Good night, Father. Good night, Maria.
In the quiet, the boy who never smiled drifted into sleep, his face still holding the echo of his first sunset. Dawn came gently to the empty terrace. The first light touched the cold stone. Where a boy had sat, on the bench, lay the leather notebook, open to a page of graceful Arabic. A fresh jasmine flower rested on the words. To describe the world is to give it. The words belonged to Professor Hamid, a man who could not see, but taught thousands to paint with scent and sound. His method had crossed generations, from a dusty classroom to a billionaire's terrace, from a blind girl to a boy who never smiled. The sun rose higher, its warmth spreading like the memory of a mother's hand. In the mansion, a child slept with a smile that had broken 10 years of silence, and a waitress had not only given him the sunset, she had unwound a thread that tied a professor, a father, and a son. The notebook remained, its pages waiting for the next voice that would dare to describe the invisible. Because to describe the world is to give it. And tonight, a blind boy was given the universe.